It's our world, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Sunday gathering. It is the 21st of May here in the Northern Hemisphere. To our friends down under, you are already in Monday. So a warm welcome to you. I am so happy to be here today. Our friends Carrie and Phil, they are traveling in America. You will see them next week, but I am joined by two wonderful gentlemen. My dear friend Darren Wynn, of course, and Dominic Boag, our guest for today. So you are in for a treat. We're so grateful you're here. Darren has planned our Sunday gathering, so I'm going to turn it over to him so he can tell you a little bit more about it. Over to you, Darren.
Thank you for that, Sandra, and a massive welcome to each and every one of you, and thank you again for joining us on this Sunday. Today's theme is Today's World. The two songs you saw at the beginning, the first one, I'll probably pronounce the name wrong, was a gentleman called Remo Fora, who's from Switzerland, and the song's called Water Gun. And the song was actually performed on behalf of Switzerland at the Eurovision. And it's a song about the tragedy of war and a call for universal peace. The second song, with all those monkeys in it, was by Jackie Lee. And it's a song from Disney's Monkey Kingdom. Two contrasting videos and music songs, one about the good and great and one about the not so good and great, which I think encapsulates our world today. So that's kind of what gave me the inspiration of today's theme. But there'll be more about later on as we go. But as Sandra's already said, you've got myself today, who will be doing the opening prayer, part of the address and the closing words. Then you've got the hostess with the mostest in pink, Sandra Champlain, who will be obviously conducting everything behind the scenes, but we'll also be doing our address as well, our reading and our healing segment. And then you've got the one and only Dominic Boag, who's thankfully came on today as a special guest for us, who will be doing part of the address, obviously the mediumship, which will be wonderful to see, and the closing prayer as well. So without further ado, ladies and gents, if you'd like to close your eyes and join me for the opening prayer. To our dear friends, helpers and loved ones, we unite here together today as friends, brothers and sisters from across our world. We unite here today in love, peace and harmony under that banner of We Don't Die for our Sunday gathering. As we unite here today, we do so coming together from different countries within our world, coming together speaking different languages and having different dialects. And we come together from different backgrounds and different understandings. But today we come together here in the name of love, for the love of uniting the two worlds together as one. And as we enter into this Sunday gathering, we do so with no desires and no expectations, and we put aside our own wants, our own needs and our own desires. And we enter into this Sunday gathering with an open heart and an open mind for the good of all mankind. And as we enter into this Sunday gathering, we allow our workers to be free and open along with those in the unseen world, so that we can share any thoughts and words that can be echoed here today, that can bring us all those moments of healing, joy and upliftment, and allow us all to immerse ourselves in that unconditional love and that healing balm. Each and every one of us deems it a joy and a privilege to walk side by side, hand in hand with all those in the unseen world. And we do this with the utmost truth and integrity. And we truly hope we can make you proud here today. As we enter into this Sunday gathering, we do so with smiles upon our faces, positivity within our minds, and an abundance of love within our hearts, so we may create that perfect meeting ground in which the two worlds can truly come together as one. And as we go through this Sunday gathering, we ask as always that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of our globe, bringing the joy and happiness that may be needed by all those hearts and minds on this day. So without further ado, my friends, we welcome you here today. Amen.
Thank you so much, Darren. Normally, during our reading time, I read you something. But we're going to do something a little bit different. Darren has found a very powerful video by a former Navy SEAL turned Admiral, William McRaven. Just sit back and take in the very powerful words. Instead of me coming back with you and introducing the healing, it's all going to be on one video. So there'll be a little pop-up that says time to sit back for the healing. But when we get to the healing portion, we are more powerful than we know. And if you want to remember the people and places in this world that need healing, and just be in the present moment to the song and to the scenery, and let those in the unseen world use our energy and direct it to where it needs to go. So the both videos are back to back, so just sit back and relax, then you'll know what to do.
Sandra, two wonderful videos. The first one with the reading, absolutely loved the motivation and the speech from that gentleman. That second one was actually produced by a photographer called Scott Wright, who lives down the road in Brighton from where we are. And it's actually filmed in the location where myself and Scott happen to live. But it's more the song that I like. We Don't Stop Dreaming. It's such a perfect song, I think, for the healing and for today's topic of the world today. When we look at the world today and we take a look around, there's war, there's economic issues, wildlife issues, climate issues, energy issues, cost of living issues. And then you've got your own personal issues to deal with, your health, your work, your money. And then we add the media into that, who reminds us day in, day out of all these issues going on throughout the world. And it's actually quite depressing and sad, isn't it? And we can allow ourselves to be consumed so easy, especially when we listen and follow the media, of all the sadness and negativity going on throughout the world. And it can be very depressing. And I've probably depressed all of you now. But do you know what? It's how we behave and how we act and how we deal with these things. We can be quite simple and allow ourselves to be consumed by what's going on in the world and be negative and be sad. But that's not what we're here for. You know, we're here to be happy, upbeat, positive, and make a change in the world and make it a better place. And you're probably thinking, but how? I can't make that change. I can't. But you can. Each and every one of us can truly make a difference within this world. If we look at all the wars going on throughout the world today, yeah, you probably can't personally go and end those wars. But what we can do is send positivity and love to those people that are going through the pain and struggling today. We can back up those people with the right intent and the right words to try and end these wars. You know, when we get immigrants coming into our countries, we can take them in, we can look after them, we can help them, as well as send aid, you know, to all those countries that's in need. That in itself is making a difference. It's making a change for the better. You know, so when we look at war, yeah, you can't personally end the war, but we can do so much, each and every one of us, to help in some way, shape, or form. When we look at the climate and environment, you know, look across the world, what's happening. You know, high temperatures, torrential rainfalls, flooding, you know, lands are flooding, all sorts is going on. Again, we can't personally stop all of that, but each and every one of us can make a difference within our lives, our lifestyles. You know, look at what you buy from the shops. Look at how you dispose of your rubbish. Look at your heating, all those kinds of stuff. There's all these little things that we can do and make a change to. You know, recycle more, you know, hand things onto people more rather than throw it in the bin every time. You know, if you've got a piece of furniture, rather than chuck it away, see if somebody wants it, see if someone can make use of it. There is so much each and every one of us can do individually to make a difference to our climate and to our world. When we look at wildlife and animals, we all love our animals. And when we look at the wildlife, you know, it's diminishing in so many parts of the world. You know, we can make a difference there. I know in the UK in particular, in May, they're doing a no mow month. So they've asked you not to mow your lawns. None of the grass verges are being mowed. None of the councils are mowing anywhere. And that's to try and encourage nature, you know, butterflies, caterpillars, you name it. It's trying to give nature a chance to survive before we lose some of these, you know, these species for good. And we can all make a difference there, you know, from what you plant in your garden. And when we look at Sandra's always feeding the birds, you know, and filming them and creating that perfect habitat for them. So if we look at Sandra alone, Sandra's that one example of somebody making a difference to our wildlife and our animals. So it shows it can be done. We can all make that little difference. When we look at the energy and the cost of living, you know, it's all over the place, you know, through different factors throughout the world. It's quite easy to sit back and all moan about it and whinge about it. And I may be a little bit contentious here, But when we look at this sort of things, we can't personally make a difference. We can't reduce the price of our electricity or gas or what have you. We can't reduce the price of goods. But what we can do is change how we live, how we behave. When they first announced the cost of living crisis and all these bills going up, me and Scott looked at each other, and I think I've mentioned this before. We said, "Oh, we'll get the blankets out. Let's get the candles out." There's things we can do ourselves to save ourselves money. It's easy to point the blame at other people for things going wrong. And yeah, you probably can, but do you know what? It's not going to help the world. It's about our attitude and how we can learn to live with things that's going on and adapt ourselves. And the cost of living, yeah, things are going up in price, but do you know what? Nobody's starving. I go into supermarkets, they're full of people. It's about choosing different options, choosing what you buy. And again, I can't even speak from personal experience here, but I know myself and Scott went through some financial troubles a little while back, and if it lasted for about 2 years, we didn't go moaning and whinging to people to do something about it. We just got on with it. We stayed positive. We was working before we went into, we've got a business. So before we went in to do our day's work at the business, we was working jobs before, working jobs at the end. Some days we'd start at 6 in the morning and finish at midnight. Was it easy? No. Did we enjoy it? No, we didn't. But we can actually sit back and say we got through it, but we did it ourselves. We didn't rely on other people to do it. And again, it's all about our attitude and how we tackle issues and what have you. When we look at people throughout our world, and I love the line the guy used in that video in the reading when he said there's sharks out there. There are sharks out there, unfortunately. But again, it's how we embrace those people. We can allow them to have an impact in a negative way on us, or we can just cut them out. And again, with people, we need to embrace one another. We need to help each other. We need to respect each other, just like he said in that video. And that in itself makes a difference. Can you imagine? And people think we're mad sometimes. You walk out in the street and you say hello and smile at someone. Sometimes you get the shock, oh my God, never had this before. But look at the difference it makes, and it has that knock-on effect. Again, I can imagine meeting Sandra in the street. I can imagine Sandra's one of those people. She walks along the street with a big smile and says hello to everyone. That can truly make a difference to all of mankind. So there is a lot we can do individually. And is life easy? No. Life isn't meant to be easy. There's always going to be challenges, for our lives, no matter what it is. But do you know what? That makes it more interesting. If our lives were easy, day in, day out, it would be pretty boring. But do you know what? Our lives aren't easy. They're not designed to be easy. We're always going to come across troubles and obstacles throughout our lives, but it's how we deal with that and how we tackle that. And as long as we do it, it's hard. I know it's hard, but as long as we do it in a positive manner, we can get through anything. And like the gentleman said in that video, I've forgotten his name now, never give up hope. Always share hope and positivity, and you'll be surprised at the impact and the knock-on effect it can have to people. Again, I'm using Sandra as an example here. When you look at Sandra's Facebook page, the We Don't Die page, when you see all the positive comments people have got on there from a negative situation, and it's all about Sandra's positivity, her smiling, all that, and that's just one person. And I believe me, if you go through that page, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments, all saying similar things from different people, how they feel better, how they feel more motivated, how they feel happier. And it's all down to one person. So that just shows as one person, the impact and positivity we can have on everyone else. So let's all follow that lead with positivity. And I shall now hand you to Dominic.
Thank you, Darren. Yeah, it's very true. It's what we actually do with life itself, isn't it? And again, how we choose to see circumstances. We absolutely cannot change everything, and we certainly cannot stop any negativity, especially if it's war or even in our own circumstances. But it's how we navigate to the other side is the most important thing to look at. And I'm a true believer, if you've got hope, then at least you have something. And to have hope will always give you that spark to continue to be alive. And if you have hope, then it shows that you're committed to survive. And we can't make huge differences But even if we look at small differences, even if it's just, like Darren says, a simple hello to a stranger or a smile to a stranger, perhaps in the store or out on the street, that smile and that hello could make such a difference and a huge impact to that person. We've heard many times of, losing the will to live per se. And if we continue to look at things maybe in a more positive manner, then it can help change our world and it can help change your world. Now, if we were to try to wake up each day and try to embrace ourselves with a positive affirmation or a positive thought, then there's a ripple effect, isn't there? And it's putting that energy out there and allowing that positivity to then grow. And it may affect other people just with that ripple effect as well. I'm sure that Sandra's little birds go and tell all the other birds that this beautiful lady feeds us. Come to this yard because there's some good food here. And then that other bird probably goes and tells another one. And before you know it, Sandra, you're going to have a zoo. So it's a knock-on effect is what we can really do. And again, just remember, if you have hope, at least you have something. And that hope can then turn into so much more of a greater cause or a greater thing as well. So don't go out there and try to change the world, but go out there and have a positive look at the world and let the world around us change itself as we collectively give hope. So that's my words for this evening, is if you have hope, at least you have something.
Thank you very much, Dominic, and thank you, Darren. And I feel like Mary Poppins here. You guys must have a picture of me with all these birds and my little umbrella and going around and sprinkling and sunshine and rainbows pop out of nowhere. No, that's not my life at all. Have you ever heard of the expression, fake it till you make it? Boy, I wake up on the wrong side of the bed lots of times. I try to watch something inspirational or read something inspirational every day. And one morning I was kind of grouchy and I heard somebody say, give gratitude for 3 things and really feel it. And it'll cause you to have a happier day. And if you really want to put the icing on the cake, do something for someone else. So sometimes we have to catch ourselves being a little grumpy and go, oh, I know what to do about that to make a difference. Thinking about these birds, when COVID hit back in 2020, we lost our business. We lost our finances. My mom and I starting over again. So much fear, so much unfinished business. It was really awful. And how the birds came along is I thought as a Christmas present, I bought my mom a few bird feeders and some bird seed. I never cared about the birds at all. But of course, she had no interest in putting the bird feeders out, so I put them out. And all of a sudden, this new world opened up to me. And it's a world, I can't control it because, Mother Nature, she's got her own plans with the weather and things. But I am somebody who is a giver and I love to share. And it didn't cost too much to buy some bird feeders on Amazon and get some bird seed and put it out there. And this new world that's always been part of the world introduced itself to me. I don't have any kids. Good, bad, or indifferent, I don't. Fine. I don't know if I could be doing what I'm doing if I was raising a family. However, I am somebody who loves to share. So I've got my mom with me 24/7. I love my dear mom, but I do look for ways to make a difference. And I, yes, have turned into a crazy bird lady. I can name them all. They all have their own personalities. I know which ones like sunflower seeds, which ones like peanuts, and they give me so much joy. And I know there is magic in being in the present moment. I know I spend most of my life, even though I talk about trying not to do this, but we can't help but replay some of the things that have happened in the past or have this worry about the future and the unknown. But there's something about being in nature. And watching these little winged friends and the squirrels and the chipmunks, etc., that it brings me back to that present moment. And they're busy in their life, right? And everything seems to work out. I am a firm believer in the afterlife, and also our pets and loved ones. Everybody gets to go. You know, I have no doubt that when I cross, yes, my loved ones will be there. Yes, the pets that I've had, but I will get bombarded by wild turkeys and hummingbirds and squirrels and chipmunks and who knows what else. But it brings me joy. Dominic talked about the ripple effect, and not everybody can be the Mother Teresas of the world and these Gandhis and these people that change the world. But I think every one of us makes a difference, much more than we know. So here we are on the Sunday gathering together, and I started looking back at a ripple effect that happened to me. And I took myself back to learning about the afterlife a bit. You know, I was really trying to prove, is it real? You know, on my journey of belief. And I'd gone into a bookstore, and there was this bright orange book called The Idiot's Guide to Communicating with Spirits. And it was one of those books that seemed to fall off the shelf, right? Like I just knew I had to buy it. And I can trace from that book to the minister that wrote the book, happened to live not far away. She had me come to her next service. There were some guests there that spoke about electronic voice phenomena. I learned about that. The people that taught me electronic voice phenomena told me about something called physical mediumship. The ripple continues, because as I looked to see, well, who's a physical medium, I found, oh, there's a Scott Milligan. I pressed a message button on Facebook. He didn't know who I was. He didn't message me back, but he let me be on, you know, a friend, so I could see his Facebook wall. From there, I see Banyan Retreat in the UK. I take my first workshop over there with Nick and Steven. I meet Scott, and then eventually I meet Darren. I meet Carrie. I meet Phil. Like the ripple just keeps going. And now we've got Dominic. And as time went on, things grew. COVID stopped the world. We started the Sunday gathering. And voila, I'm here on the 21st of May, 2023 with you guys. Where the ripple goes with you, I have no idea. Do you find yourself ever having a good day and you just feel good? You never know the ripple you are causing on the next person. Is that next person going to go on to do great things? Whether they're big, whether they're small, it doesn't matter. Kindness comes from within. So don't ever discount yourself as to who you are and have you done enough and am I doing my life's purpose? I don't really think there is a life purpose other than following your passions and being kind to people and making a difference for other people. And it can express itself in so many different ways. So relax. We may live in a household with a loved one who loves to watch the news. And yes, like Darren was saying, there's plenty of stuff happening. I personally try not to concentrate on things that I cannot fix. We can definitely send our loving thoughts, send prayers to the right direction. But I think my message to you guys really is to look at your own world, meaning the things that are right in front of you, meaning the people that are right in front of you. If it takes adding a little gratitude or doing something nice for someone else or faking it till you make it, do not wait for other people to make you happy. It's just not going to happen. It won't. Everybody's fighting their own battle. But if you've got a funny joke you want to share from time to time, well, we'd love to hear it. But know that you can make a difference, whether it's feeding the little critters, making your bed, being someone people like to be around because you're always positive, you're always kind, you don't gossip. That's your world. That's my world. And you never know where that ripple effect is going to go. You don't. So sometime today, if you like, and today is World Meditation Day, by the way. if you have an opportunity to just quiet your mind and send a little gratitude out there. But if you want to just do like I did, a little fast forward to see some of the ripple effects that have happened in your life, and chances are they all start with just one little thing. So, last thing I just want to say is I have interviewed a ton of people who have had near-death experiences, and so many of them talk about this life review. And they do say that we don't get judged by anyone, which is good news, but we get to replay our own life. And we may see the times that we could have done something better than what we chose to do. And we may experience our actions from another person's perspective and what we can learn about that. But following that, you'll be excited to know you get to see the ripple effect of your actions, your words, how far they can extend. So you never know in any interaction that you might just be the change that somebody needs. You might just be that smile, that little compliment to somebody as you're checking out of the grocery store, telling somebody they have a nice smile or pretty jewelry or whatever that may be. But don't discount it. So you can start with your own world. And like the Admiral said, make your bed. So that is it for our address shared by myself and these two wonderful gentlemen. We're going to go on now to our demonstration of mediumship. And we have the wonderful Dominic here with us today. If you're here for the first time or you've been with us before, just want to run through how this part works. Dominic has been a long time medium, also teaches mediumship. He's got a commitment to the spirit world that their voices can be heard again, and it is through a medium. The spirit world has this planned, no doubt. There will be a handful of representatives from the spirit world that will work with Dominic and be able to talk, in a sense, to a few members of our community today. He'll start off by giving some bits of information about the person who has contacted him. And they'll use his memories and thoughts and pictures in his mind and feelings and emotions and all that to try to sum up who they are. So you'll hear him verbalize some bits of information about the person. And yes, we are still people when we migrate over there. We're still us. We still have our same personalities. And we can pick any age we want to be, any look we want, all good. But they will probably represent themselves to how you remember them. When he gives these initial bits of information, if you can understand everything he said as somebody that you know that no longer walks this earth, we want you to press your raise hand button. All right, so I'm going to ask everybody on your device if you can find that raise hand button and go ahead and press it and see what happens on your side. Everybody's getting a workout for their finger. Very good, very good. Excellent. And now it should say lower hand. So you want to press that one more time so your hand goes down. And those of you who are multitasking and you have your phone in your pocket, you might be accidentally pressing your raise hand button, as we have found out in the past. Sometimes it takes a few minutes or moments to get to the person. But if you are somebody who works with Dominic today, I'm going to press a button on my side. You'll get a little pop-up that says, we'd like you to press your unmute button. You don't see unmute right now, but you will after I press the button. If you do work with him, your job is easy. All you need to do is say yes, no, or I don't know to the information that he supplies. Whether it's Dominic or another medium you see working on the Sunday gathering, what's important is that we don't volunteer the information. It's so easy when we do that we leave and they think, did the medium bring me that information or did I tell them? We want everyone to know that Dominic, yes, is absolutely indeed in communication with our loved ones in the spirit world and that he is working with them. I know there's only a handful of people, like I say, that will get messages today, but these people in the spirit world work on behalf of all of our loved ones, letting us all know that they are around us, they are with us, they love us, they're going to be the first ones to greet us when it's our time to go. So when these messages come through, take them on for yourself, because I find there's some really good advice sometimes that I can use for my life. All right. So that's how it works. The spirit world is in on this with us. They know who's coming through. They know who's here in our Zoom room. And yeah, that's all I need to share with you. We like to play a piece of music before we go into our demonstration. It's always a good time to picture our loved ones with us, and have a little dance if you like. We have a lovely song that you may recognize from a while ago by the one and only Dolly Parton. And it's 9 to 5. And after we hear this song, Dominic and I will be back together here and we'll get going with our demonstration. Are you ready for a little Dolly? I think you are. You gotta love a little Dolly Parton, right? Hi, Dominic.
Well, Dolly's my favorite.
I love her too.
Perfect. Well, Sandra, just as I start to allow myself to invite our loved ones to come forward and connect with the spirit world, I am very much aware of a lady that steps forward, and I do believe this lady would be Mum, and I keep hearing the name Cindy. So I feel that would be for Cindy or for Cynthia. But I'm very much aware of the name Cindy coming forward. And I know as I connect with this lady, she tells me that before she crosses over to the spirit world, there was a change of where she lived. And I feel that she either went into some form of hospice or she went into hospital. But she tells me to say that she remembers her family being with her, but she wasn't fully there. She was already gone. So I feel that as the family were with this beautiful lady, she wasn't fully aware of her family being there talking to her. And I feel as I connect here with her, she was the life and soul of the party, because as we were listening to Dolly, I actually wanted to get up and start dancing, and thankfully I didn't. But this lady, as I connect here with her, talks to me about the birthday. So I feel either your birthday is coming up just now or her birthday is coming up just now. But she brings to my attention about the birthday celebrations at the moment. So I know Cindy or Cynthia would connect with this lady. I know Mum in the spirit world, and I do feel that before she crosses over, she spent some time in hospital or in a hospice, but we didn't get her home. She keeps making me feel she didn't get home is the easiest way that I could describe here. And I know that she brings to my attention before crossing over, she just wasn't fully there. I feel maybe there was some confusion with her, or maybe even dementia or Alzheimer's, but I know there would have been issues with her head before she crosses over to the spirit world.
All right, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you can understand all this information, go ahead and press your raise hand button. All right, we have two ladies with their hands raised. Just going to say your names out loud in case one of you guys pressed it accidentally. Andrea and Stephanie. Okay, they both have their hands raised.
Okay, let me just see if I can get a little bit more here. Now, I know as I connect with this lady, I feel, and I'm absolutely rubbish with age, but I feel as I connect with this lady, she may have been in her late 80s. I feel she almost was in her 90s, she late 80s as I connect here with her. And I know that there would be perhaps a small collection of brooches or pins belonging to this lady, and I feel you would still have these.
Okay, thank you very much. Andrea and Stephanie, you both can take that information. Your hands are both still up. Dominic, would you like to hear their voices as they're both?
I actually really feel drawn to Andrea, to be honest.
Okay, all right. Stephanie, you just stay where you are there. Andrea, if you could unmute yourself. Hello. Andrea, are you there? She has unmuted herself, but we cannot hear her voice. Oh, I hate when those things happen. I do. Let's see what we can do. Andrea, I'm going to promote you to panelist. You just say yes, and maybe if you could turn your camera on and we can, if we can see you, you can give a thumbs up or thumbs down. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, that's the trick of Zoom sometimes.
Technology.
Technology. Andrea, are you there? There you are. Hi there. It might be because your headphones don't have a microphone. Can you unplug your headphones? Let's see if she can unplug her headphones. Maybe you'll be able to hear us. If not, you can just give it. No, it's perfect. Can you hear us?
Okay.
Okay. Welcome.
Hi, Andrea.
Hello.
And just so that I can connect with this, you would understand this being mum, sweetie.
Yes.
Yes, and you would understand the name Cindy or Cynthia.
Cynthia and yes, Cindy, both.
Wonderful. Okay, and would you understand as well, darling, where I get the impression of the badges or the brooches?
The brooch.
Perfect, fabulous. And I know as I connect with this beautiful lady, darling, like I said, she was the life and soul of the family, life and soul of the party in a sense, but she makes me feel that you need to have clarity, you need to have closure, knowing that you didn't abandon her, darling. It was okay to let her go, is the way that she comes across here. And I do get the impression, she's still talked about all the time. I feel family events, I feel occasions. There's never a dull moment when talking about this beautiful woman, never. And she just keeps telling me to say that the conversations keep her alive, the conversations keep her a part of the family, is the easiest way that I could say to you. And she still goes on about this birthday celebration coming up.
Mine.
Perfect. And I know that it's very simple for me to say, well, it's her way of saying happy birthday to you, but it's her way of expressing that she's back to herself, because I know before she made her transition, for a period of time, she wasn't within the same mind, if I could say that to you. You see, and I feel it's her way of trying to show you, I remember, I'm okay now. I remember things is the easiest way that I could say to you. Now, I really don't understand. Would you understand any symbolicness with a hummingbird at all, darling? She keeps showing me a hummingbird, and I feel like I want to talk about a hummingbird feeder. Like, she keeps bringing this to my attention.
Yes.
Okay. And she just keeps making me feel very much like, you know, we said with Sandra, with feeding the birds. She keeps talking to me about how we nourish and how we give to others. And this woman, if I could say to you, darling, remembers one of the last times of being with you, taking her out into a yard or into a garden with either the hospital or the hospice. And she just keeps telling me to say that she remembers the way that things were, and she doesn't want people to dwell on the way she went. She says, I'm back on my feet. And I feel when she was here, with the greatness of respect, she was a tough cookie. She was a tough cookie. And she just keeps making me feel very much that you didn't abandon me. You let me go. And that was the most important thing. And I feel that in some way, it may have haunted you for a while of, did mum know that I was there? Did she know that I stayed with her? And she keeps telling me to say, absolutely. And she thanks you for that. And I just feel with the badges, the pins, the brooches, it gives me a great sense of the elegance of your mum. And I feel with the greatness of respect, darling, the way she went to the way I see her now, I want to say to you, she's back on her feet. She's back to being the woman that she used to be. And I know that she needs you to remember that. She just keeps wanting to say to you, I'm not venturing very far. I've still got a lot to see within the family. I've still got to see you all get into trouble and be happy and merry. And she just keeps telling me to say that the greatest thing of life is being loved. And she just wants to share that love back with you as well. Okay.
Thank you very much.
I feel very much, darling, your beautiful mum has not ventured far from your side. Always remember that. Okay. And when that birthday comes, maybe just remember it's her gentle way of saying happy birthday to you. Maybe one last time until we meet again. Okay. So thank you so much for loving me to the end and continuing to spread my words of life.
Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. You're so welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Dominic.
Now, I'm very much aware of a young man stepping forward here just now, and I feel like I'm very aware of the name Mike, and I feel as I connect with this young man, I know he's been in a car accident. I feel he's been in an automobile accident as I connect here with him, and I'm feeling like I'm either a friend or maybe an ex-boyfriend, but it makes me feel very much there's some feeling of romanticness with this fella, because I don't feel he's coming as family. But I know he would have went to the spirit world before his time. I know that he would have perhaps been already passed away by the time the first responders get to him, but he keeps bringing to my attention of, you know, that saying, we go way back. We go way back. So I know as he's connecting here with me, maybe we were in school together, maybe we dated at some point, but I know he's full of beans. I know he's full of fun. I know that music was a big thing for him. Maybe he played guitar or just had this love of music, but I know that Mike or Michael connects with him. I know he's in the spirit world with a gentleman that would be John as well, because he tells me to say John is there also. But I know, and I don't want to be too extreme or paint this picture, but I know that he talks to me about it being a freak accident. That's the easiest way I can say to you, and I do feel very much there's no other vehicle involved. I just feel that there's maybe been you know, like maybe a telephone pole or a tree. I struggle to see any other thing here, but he just keeps telling me to say that he loves you like it was yesterday. So I know there's something more going on here, whether it's a friend or a romanticness, is the easiest way that I can say to you.
Thank you, Dominic. I'm going to put that out to our friends to press their raise hand button, but I can actually take a 100% of that information.
Seriously.
Uh-huh. And also Katie has her hand raised as well.
Okay.
So let's bring in Katie. We'll see where we go. Katie, if you can press your unmute button and we'll see. Hi, Katie.
Hi there.
Hi, Katie. So do you
Hello.
understand this gentleman being Michael or Mike?
Yes.
Okay. And would you understand Dad in the spirit world?
No, partner.
No, I feel this gentleman tells me he's with Dad.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's with Dad. Well, the reason I raised my hand was because you said Mike and John, and his best friend, his name was John, and John passed away about 20 years ago.
I'll be honest with you. I felt that John was Dad. So it doesn't quite
I can't
feel...
take that, so it might not be for me.
Thanks, Katie.
That's okay, sweetie. That's okay. Thank you, though.
So my Mike hit a phone pole in a free car accident that took him
No
out.
way.
And he is an ex-boyfriend. And everything else, and Dad is in the spirit world named John.
No, okay.
Yeah, it's maybe me.
Okay, well, we don't choose who comes through, do we, Sandra?
We do not.
But I was just very aware, just as he connected with me, I knew I wasn't family because he didn't come as family, if I can say that to you. But I did feel there was this great sense of love and affection, and like he said, we go way back, But I just feel in some way there's something quite quirky about him. There's something quite fun about him, and he you know, I feel like maybe having a little dimple as he smiles or something here. But his smile is what catches my attention. Was just, you know, he's got this cheeky grin, as easy where I could say to you. But he just kept saying to me about John being here with him in the spirit world, as easy whether I could say to you. And I do get the impression as I connect, you know, we can always look for fault, can't we, of why this happened, or was I speeding, or was it ice, and I really do feel it was just an accident is the easiest way that I could say to you here. And I know there may have been a point where we had lost some contact or we hadn't seen each other for so long. And I feel like he's showing up to be like, you know, I've got your back. I'm still here for you. You know, I still hold you dear in my heart, is the easiest way that I could say to you. You weren't in school at some point together, were you?
No.
No, because it keeps bringing my attention to something to do with school here. Do you know if he was in a band in school at all?
I don't know.
Not too sure. Okay. Because I'm very aware of wanting to do like air guitar. I feel like I wanted to just be playing guitar for some reason. It's bizarre. But he just keeps telling me to say that he tells me to say he didn't suffer. And I'm saying, okay, well, can you express that more? And he just keeps saying to me, that was so quick is the easiest way that I could say to you here. And he's telling me to say that he's glad that you have found your path. And I'm saying, why would you say that? And I get the impression that it took him a while to find his path.
Yes.
Okay. And he just keeps making me feel very much that you finding your path, him finding his own path. But it's funny because we've came full cycle. It's almost like he's now reconnecting with you again. It's the easiest way that I consider you. He is telling me to say that you have been thinking about him or you have felt him around at times. I know that sounds weird, but that's what he tells me.
It's true. Yes.
But that's the impression I get here. And I don't know why, but he keeps telling me to say John gives him a hard time. And I'm going, oh, really? Why? And I just feel like the both of them being like knuckleheads, like just fun, having banter together is the easiest way that I could describe here. But would you understand anything to do with, would you have anything to do with like John's name being on like a plaque or being on like a wall or something?
Yes.
Yeah, because he just keeps telling me to say he loves what has been placed, and it's almost like something that maybe has been carried through, or maybe from the past in some way that we still have. Is the easiest way that I could describe here. And he just keeps telling me to say he's happy with the way things have unfolded, but he's telling me to say. He's telling me to say, don't allow. Other people, and I feel this is coming in maybe family, so please bear with me. Don't allow other people to put you off your path. Don't allow yourself to change because of other people. He says, just stay true to yourself, my darling. Just stay true to yourself. And I feel that your father, when he was alive, he would have been a man that would have nourished or shared a lot of thoughts and supported people, is the easiest way that I could say to you. But he was a man that always stayed true to himself, you see. And I know that this is very important. Even when the going gets tough, he always found a way. He always found a way to get through it. But he just keeps making me feel that family, I don't know why this is coming in, family comes in all shapes and sizes. And it doesn't need to be biological. It doesn't need to be biological. Family is who we become, is what he keeps telling me to say. Okay. He just keeps saying, keep smiling. You don't by any chance still have a baseball cap belonging to your dad at all?
I do.
Yeah, because I keep wanting to put it on, but then your buddy here, he keeps putting it on backwards. You see?
Yeah, he did.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, it's crazy. Everything's 100% right on. Yeah, that's how we wore them backwards.
But I just feel there was a beautiful warm hug is the easiest way I want to bring them forward. Okay.
Thank you.
So please know that they both have reconnected in some way in the spirit world, but also they're here with you as much as you need as well. Okay, so sincerely, thank you so much for allowing me to connect. But yeah, that baseball cap, something interesting about that. That's funny.
That's very funny. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very much aware of a young man stepping forward. Well, I say a young man. He feels more like a boy, to be honest. I'm very much aware of a teenager within the spirit world here, and I know that he would be connecting as son. I know he would be your son, but I feel there would have been. I feel like maybe he was always accident prone. I feel like skateboarding. I feel like BMXing. I know that there would have been a lot of maybe casts or broken arms or grazes or cuts But I know before he goes to the spirit world, there also again was an accident. I feel very much in some way maybe there was something wrong with the head. But I feel that there was nothing more that could be done for me, is what it keeps bringing my attention. And I know that maybe I was on a life support machine, or eventually mum and the family had to make decisions for me, is the impression I get here. I keep getting like a J name as well, so I feel maybe like Josh or Jay. So J is what comes up here at the moment. But I struggle to take him into his 20s, so I feel maybe 16 or 17 years of age. I know I'm young, as easiest way to say to you, and I know there's something to do with a tree of life, but we will get to that in a second once we connect. But I know that there's some form of head trauma. I know he was always accident prone when he was alive, skateboarding, BMXing. He was very adventurous, is the easiest way that I could say to you.
Thank you. And you're looking for someone's son, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I know he would be your son.
Okay. All right. We have 3 hands raised. Lisa, Anna, and Virginia. Oh, Lisa's hand went down. We have Anna and Virginia. Virginia's hand went up straight away. Anna's hand just went up.
Okay, and I just want to make sure that we connected like Josh or Jace, like the strong J name with this young man.
All right. Virginia's hand went down. We have Anna, and Virginia, you just keep listening in. Anna, if you could unmute yourself there, or Anna. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, what do you understand, sweetie?
Jonathan, my son,
Yeah.
all prone to accidents of every type, BMXing, skateboarding, always active. Had been on life support as well.
Okay, and I do feel
Tree of life. He left me as a gift. It's like a sculpture or a red of tree of life.
Perfect. Because I felt this was very important, and I know that this is something that you treasure. I know this is something you hold dear to you. But it kept bringing my attention to this. But if I was to say to you, with your beautiful son, darling, he was always up to something. He was always doing something, if I could say that to you. And I just feel, as I connect here with him, he's always trying to make you smile. He's always trying to make people laugh. I feel he had such a huge heart.
Absolutely, yes.
And I know very much as well, either being still in school, or there was something that the school had done for him when he passed away, sweetie. Would you understand that?
He was 24, but looking very youthful, just like as a teenager, and he was starting his master's.
Okay, so maybe this is where I get the education, but I felt, and I was obviously very wrong with his age, but I just keep getting this whole thing about the school, the education, and I felt either school friends or college friends. I feel people had done something in his honor, is the easiest way that I could say to you here. And in the spirit world, in my mind here, I can see him with a beautiful dog. So I feel like maybe a dog from his past, or a dog when he was younger, but I know there's a beautiful dog with him in the spirit world here. Now, would you have memories? I feel like I see this as a photograph. Would you have memories of being at either Disneyland or where there would have been roller coasters and like a fair ride?
Yes, very
Yes.
much. And the
Because
dog, yes.
Awesome. And I know as he connects here with me, he's telling me to thank you for being his greatest supporter. Thank you for being my hero. Thank you for loving me the way you did. But he keeps wanting me to tell you you're his best friend. She's my best friend. She's my best friend, he keeps telling me. And I know very much somewhere, would you understand if I says to you that perhaps you still have a jotter or a book, something with his handwriting or his sketches. I feel something to do with I feel like writing. Do you have an old book or a notepad with his writing?
Yes, and I
Yeah,
have a journal since he was 14 with his.
fabulous. Because he keeps telling me to say that you still have so much of him. You still have so much of him still here. And he wants you to know that these things that you have, he's glad you have. He's glad that you've held on to these pieces of his life, is the easiest way that I can say to you here. I feel very much as we go into the month of June, there's maybe either his birthday or anniversary, but I feel for some reason June being very important is in my mind here as well.
Yes, it is his father's and grandfather's birthday on the same day, June 25, and they're both in spirit now with him.
Because I just feel there's importance of this month coming up is what I want to say to you here. Now, this may sound very strange, but let's go with it. Would I be correct to say that you still have like a backpack or a holder? Yeah, a backpack belonging to your son.
Yes,
Yeah.
keeping.
Because he also makes me feel about the backpack being here, and I feel in the front there would be a zip, but he brings my attention to this as well. He tells me to say that since he's crossed over and grown from the spirit world, he has seen what you have sacrificed in life to have gave him the life that he had, and he thanks you for that. But he tells me to say that letting him go was actually giving him his life back. So I feel within the life support machine, darling, letting him go, what you actually did was gave him his life back, and he thanks you for that. Okay. He keeps telling me to say that it was the right thing to do, it was the only thing to do, he keeps saying, and that was okay. That was okay. I feel like I want to give you a big bear hug. I don't know if he would have been more taller than you in a sense, but I just want to give you a bear hug, and I just want to say you will always be my mama, always.
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay.
Like him, yes, a big bear hugs is what he was giving, and he called me mama.
Perfect.
Well, praying to hear from him today. Thank you, Sandra.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for allowing me to chat with you.
Thank you so much, Anna. Thank you, Dominic.
You're welcome. Thank you all. God bless you.
Bless you.
So I'm very much aware of, I feel this is sister that's coming forward from spirit at the moment. And I feel like it's her hair that really catches me here. In my mind, I see like an image of Stevie Nicks, with the big hair and the beautiful hair. And I do feel as she's connecting here with me. Either she was late diagnosed or wasn't diagnosed in time, but I know there would have been issues and upset to do with her diagnosis, is the easiest way that I could say to you. I know she would have been back and forth to the doctor, and then by the time she gets proper help, it was too late. That's the easiest way that I could say to you. I know somewhere there would be Carol or Caroline, as I connect with this beautiful girl here. And I feel cancer, but I'm not 100% convinced, so please forgive me. But I know she connects here with me. I feel there's something to do with Florida. So I know that we live in Florida, or we had a vacation in Florida, but she keeps bringing to my attention Florida as I connect with her as well. And I know Debbie would connect with this beautiful girl as well, Debbie. But I feel there's just something about the diagnosis. I feel her passing unfolds very quick, as the easiest way I can say to you, but she's full of life. Her hair was very important to her, and I do feel like you would connect with this beautiful girl as sister.
All right, thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you just a moment to press your raise hand button if you like. And Dominic, we have Lisa with her hand raised. Let's bring in Lisa. Hi,
Hello,
Lisa.
Dominic. Hello,
I-
Sandra.
What do you understand, darling?
Everything. Every
Okay.
single thing.
Do you understand the Carol or the Caroline?
You there?
Yep. And I do feel very much like she's just like her
Can you hear me?
personality. Her personality is contagious, if I can say that to you.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, we can hear you, Lisa.
Oh, okay. That's better. I'm sorry I cut out. I
That's
understand everything. I can take every single thing in.
Okay. And this would be your sister, yes?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I feel very much, and I hope you don't mind me saying, but I feel she's like, I had to get your attention. She says, because I know you've been worrying a lot just now. I know you've been worrying. And I feel like your sister is just trying to be like a friend. She's trying to be a support to you at the moment. And I'm not going to air any of your business, but I just feel at the moment you could be doing with her by your side, if I can say that to you. And she just
Absolutely.
keeps saying, I'm here. We're going to get through this together. Everything's going to be okay. And I just feel like she wants to say to you to keep dreaming. She says, keep dreaming. She says, I want you to keep being strong. Keep being strong. She keeps giving me the whole impression, if I can say to you again, like live music. So maybe going to see concerts or going to a bar if there was music or a band on. I feel very much a big pull with music, if I can say this to you, darling, with her. And I know that as she connects here with me, she keeps telling me to say that her family was upset that she wasn't cared for properly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. And she just keeps saying, it's okay. There's nothing more we can do about it. I know you're upset. I know you were annoyed. She says, and so am I. She says, but I'm okay. And that's the most important thing. I'm okay. Please stop worrying about me. Please stop worrying about me. I feel as she's connecting here with me, there's something about her laugh. And I feel like her laugh is very husky or very, it would stand out in a crowd, is the easiest way that I can say to you here. But she's telling me to say to you, would you understand where I get the impression of like, do you have memories of her like stealing or borrowing a leather jacket?
Oh, my God. Yes.
Because she's telling me to say this is what she's wearing right now, is your leather jacket. And I feel like you never ever got that back for some reason, is the easiest way that I can say to you. And she just keeps telling me to say that she couldn't have had a better sister. She says, I couldn't have had a better sister. And I want you to know that we will always be close. We will always be close. She tells me she got your letter. So I know you had written a letter or a note to her when she passed away. But she's telling me she's got your letter. Do you relate with that?
Wow. Yes. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yep. And she just keeps telling me to say that she felt blessed. She felt honored to be your best friend. And she says, I know I wasn't the easiest to communicate with. She says, but thank you for being patient. Thank you for being patient. She says, but I will be there for you the way that you would have been there for me if I let you.
That's amazing. When she's referring to the music, my birthday's this weekend, and we're going to see a band on the river from Florida, where we're from.
Wow. Wow. Well, that's just her confirmation to show you she's still there and she's watching over you guys. And I'm sure she'll be at that concert before you, won't she?
Yes, that is the most amazing thing. Thank you so much, Dominic. And thank you,
So,
Sandra. Wow.
thank you so much for allowing me to chat with you. Sincerely.
Amazing.
Thank you, Lisa.
Sincerely. Thank
Dominic,
you.
you want to do one more?
I was just about to say I'm going to hand back to you.
Okay, and back to me. Okay. Either way.
Thank you.
Perfect. Well, Dominic, thank you so much for being our special guest today. And ladies and gentlemen, he'll be back on June 18th. So you don't want to miss that Sunday gathering as well. You can find out more about Dominic at his website, Dominic Boag, BOAG.com. And as always, our home base is WeDon'tDie.com. We got lots of things going on. Some of you may be joining both Dominic and Scott and Darren in Scotland coming up. We've got that event posted at wedon'tdie.com at the store page if you want to check that out. Also, our June classes are open for business. On Tuesdays, we're going to have a student practice group. Carrie and Phil are on, well, they're traveling, so they won't be doing live classes, but we'll have a practice group. I'll also be hosting some what's called hybrid medium classes. So for beginner or advanced, we're going to play some videos. We'll be doing some practices together. It'll be great. On Thursdays, we're going to have student medium demonstrations. This is all going on in June. Also on Mondays, please join Scott Milligan and myself for Trance and the Altered States. Really special course where we can learn to quiet that mind and blend with the love from the unseen world. Very special. On Tuesdays, Scott offers Sitting for the Power Hours. We all want to connect with our loved ones, don't we? We do. But little do we know that we need some quiet time for our own mind to recharge the batteries, and we can sit in the power of our own soul on Tuesdays. Also on Friday, we are with Scott again for In the Arms of Eternity, which is an opportunity to sit for healing. And also we have a most extraordinary conversation through the trance mediumship of Scott's, where we get to talk to a friend in the unseen world, talk about life and death and the afterlife, and your questions get answered. It's extraordinary. On June the 3rd, I believe it's June the 3rd, a Saturday, we're doing a 5-hour class with Scott on Trance and the Altered States. I think that's what else we have got going on. May 30th, our friends Kath and Mitch Shirley are going to be doing a free grief cafe. They are the advanced grief recovery specialists, and they're very special events. Everything, again, you can go to wedon'tdie.com, click on the store page, and everything I just listed and more is there. Also, there's a tab at the top of the page that you can listen to my podcast episodes. It says radio shows, but I have now, I think, 525 hours of extraordinary conversations about the afterlife with people. They're very, very special. I'll give you everything that I've got so that you know that your loved ones have not died. They are still alive. They are well, they're healthy, they're part of our lives. You don't need to talk to them or wait for them on a Sunday. Keep talking to them right now. They're with you. And it's when you think it's just your imagination and you have loving memories and thoughts and feelings, that's them. That's the easiest way for them to communicate, through our imagination. Yeah, that's all I want to share, I think. I want to thank those of you who have donated to the Sunday gathering. It helps us keep on keeping on, so we appreciate that. Again, at wedon'tdie.com, there's a Sunday gathering tab. If you'd like to donate, you can, but you can also watch the past Sunday gatherings as well as register for the upcoming ones. I've said enough. I'm going to turn it over to Darren now. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you for that, Sandra. It's been a wonderful Sunday gathering. So thank you to each and every one of you for joining us here today and making these Sunday gatherings special. I know we said it before, but we truly enjoy putting these Sunday gatherings together. The music, the people, what we're going to talk about, all that kind of stuff. It's a real joy and privilege to do. So thank you to all of you. And thank you to Sandra, Dominic, for doing everything you do and carry on to do and being part of this wonderful experience. It's been a joy and a pleasure to sit here to watch and to listen. If I was going to give any words for the week, have you heard that saying, be the change you want to see? It's quite a common saying, and I think it's so true. We all want to see a change in the world for the better, but it starts with you, me, and us. We need to be that change we want to see, no matter how small. Like we said, it could be walking down the street, smiling at a stranger. It could be feeding the wildlife in the garden, like Sandra does with the birds. It can be anything small, but never underestimate the difference and the change it can make throughout the world and the ripple effects it will have. So as you go through this week, think of all those little things, as little changes that you personally can make and do to truly make a difference for our world. So there's a video we're going to play after the closing prayer. And I'm waffling a bit because Dominic's disappeared, so I'm waiting for him to reappear to do our closing prayer. But there's a video we're going to play at the end And it's actually taken from the day of King Charles's coronation. At the end of the day, there was a big concert held at Windsor Castle. And it's a lovely video because it encapsulates the concert. And many of you probably don't know, but King Charles was a big advocate for conservation and what have you. And the video they've put together and the words are truly amazing and inspiring. I definitely found it inspiring. So we're going to play that shortly after the closing prayer. And I don't believe Dominic's on, so the closing prayer would be me. He's probably having a bit of trouble getting on. So if you'd all like to close your eyes and join me for the closing prayer. We'd like to thank our friends, brothers and sisters from within our world for coming together here today and each and every Sunday and making these Sunday gatherings possible under that banner of We Don't Die. We'd like to express our sincere thanks and gratitude to all those friends, helpers and loved ones of that world we call unseen, for also coming together, allowing the two worlds to join together as one, and being here week in and week out, and having the faith and the trust in us to walk hand in hand, side by side, and deliver these Sunday gatherings each week. We deem it an absolute joy and privilege to work with your world and represent your world as we've done here today. And we truly hope we've done this in the right way and truly made a difference within our world. As we bring this Sunday gathering to a close and the sun sets on this day, we go forward to a dawn of a new week, a new day, where we can all continue to tread our individual pathways and create our own journeys as we do so. But we can do this with the trust and faith to know that you continually walk by our side, helping us, guiding us, and inspiring us to be the best we can be, so that we can truly make a difference in today's world and make it a better world for each and every one of us. And as we close this Sunday gathering, we ask that that healing light continues to shine to all four corners of our world, to make a change and truly bring that hope and that joy to all those hearts and minds that may be in need at this time. Until we meet again, my friends. Amen.
Thank you very much, Darren, and thank you, Dominic. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We read every single message that's in that chat box. We don't have time to respond. And I did see that we've got some birthdays coming up. Happy birthday. And I don't know why the spirit world picks who they pick each and every time. That is completely up to them. But please don't wait and think that your loved one can only appear during the Sunday gathering. They're trying to get your attention, and they may just be trying a different way than coming through on the Sundays, but they are all with us and you are loved and you will see them again. So let's go into this closing video Darren was talking about, and I love the drones. Oh my goodness. That was wonderful. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Darren and I are on the screen. We love you. We thank you. You are loved. And go sign up for next Sunday. How about that? Have a good rest of your day. Bye.